Mike, Bryce Terry, Waco Trib. Mike, obviously a disappointing start for you guys. What did Texas State do that gave you such problems?
They really just didn't do anything special. Hats off to them guys. They played their hearts out. It was just us, we had to pay attention more. We let stuff happen on our end, and we just got to play better next week.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Mike, on that long touchdown run, was that a fit thing, or what? How did they beat you on that one?
It was on us. We just played it wrong, and that's just something that we got to get in the film room tomorrow, next week, and just get it fixed and bounce back next week.
David Smoke, 365 Sports. Is there any chance you guys could have practiced against what they ran tonight with the players you have on Baylor's offense?
Yes, our guys try to give us the best look they can. And, of course, that's not them practicing with us, but they try to help us the best way they can.
Mike in the back by the cameras. Aaron Kelly, Fox 44. What was the mood like in the locker room, and how do you guys go about not allowing this to affect the way you guys play next week against Utah?
It hurt losing, and we just got to stick together and band together. And nobody was talking down on each other. Everybody was together with one another and just focused on fixing our mistakes and getting ready for next week.
How would you assess, I guess, the communication on the defensive side of the ball? Were there any issues there? How did that go, kind of your first game out there?
It's just something we got to be better at. We just didn't do it to the extent that we were supposed to today, and it showed that we just got to get back on the field next week and get it right.
Drake, obviously a disappointing start for you guys. I mean, just what's the mood in the locker room right now? And, do you feel like this team has the ability to bounce back?
Yeah, it hurts for everyone, players, coaches, myself included. Obviously not the way we wanted to come out to start the season, but I think I still have so much belief in this team and the guys we have, and I think we could definitely bounce back from this and learn from it. And the good thing is we got a big opportunity next week to make up for it. So.
Drake, what's the next step? Where do you go from here to get back?
I think right now is a time where we got to stick together more than ever. It's only game one. I mean, it's tough that we had to go out this way for the first game, but I think just watching film, being honest with ourselves, seeing where we went wrong, what we can do better, and just like the little things, and just not beating ourselves, and just going back to work and just giving our all in the preparation this week, and yeah.
Drake, I know you'll need to get in the film room to really answer this question, but pass protection was a problem all night. You're involved in that quite a bit. What was kind of the message when y'all would get on the sidelines, getting ready for the next drive, for how you're going to pass protect better that next drive?
I think there was a lot of stuff that they had going on defensively, and credits to them, but I think we were more than capable of picking up whatever we needed to, and it didn't go our way, and it's just whether it was communication or a snap or they just outplayed us. I'm not sure. I had to look at it in film, but I think when we come out the sideline, our next step is just to move past what just happened and try to go put the ball in the end zone again. And I mean, sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't, but we're always just trying to look forward to see what we can do next, and we'll go back and watch the film and see where we went wrong and learn from it. So.
Drake, can you talk me through the long touchdown? What went right for you there, and just kind of how that play unfolded?
I think when I got off the ball, I saw the safety had me man, so I knew I just had to beat him one-on-one and get open, and get across the field, and Blake made a great throw. And then after that, I was just being a ball player and just wanted to get something going for the team. I know we really needed that in that moment, and just I think it sparked a little something that we're able to help us get out of our own way. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can just to give us some life. So.
Drake in the back. In terms of Blake, when he's clearly battling through an injury in that second half, how much does that affect you guys, or how hard is it to block that out as an offense when you see your kind of leader on that side of the ball struggling to walk at times?
It's tough, and you want to do everything to protect him. And I think salute to Blake for just being a soldier out there and giving it all he had, even though his leg wasn't feeling right. And I think that just goes to show his toughness and how bad he wanted to be out there with us. And I think we got to have his back the same way. If we know he's out there and he maybe isn't as mobile as he is, we got to really hammer down and try to protect him. And I think it's just, Blake. I know Blake's going to give it his all and tough it out and do whatever he can to help his team win.
Craig Smokesick, 365. Drake, can you take us through the trick play and the pass and trying to find Sawyer? Obviously, one you'd probably like to have back. Can you just take us through it from your point of view?
Yeah, it sucks because I'm looking forward to that one for a minute. And, I mean, it's the perfect situation. I don't know. That one hurt. It did. I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, it happens. I'm not a quarterback. But, I mean, yeah, just got to keep moving forward. So.
Very disappointed with tonight, and it's a disappointed locker room, and just throughout camp, just talking about how many games are lost early in the season rather than won, and it's hard to talk about that because I don't want that to be taken in any way. Anything away from Texas State. I thought that the energy they played with and the penetration they got and the excitement that they played with was really strong, and they've got really great playmakers, and I thought they dialed stuff up and was able to hit things when they wanted them and got matchups and all of that. I say what I say because the third downs that we got in that first drive or their first couple drives were I think however many third downs we had, and then fourth downs we had, and opportunities to get off the field, and then however many to-goes we had, goal to goal, and we have penalties where the ball's got moved back or we give the ball away, and so just all these opportunities that we had that we did not capitalize on, and I take responsibility for that. So much of it is. We preach that, and we try to be in position to not beat ourselves, and I just felt that I failed to do that. And I failed to put the team in the best position to do that, and that's a hard take to have, but I think it's one that for sure showed up tonight. I thought the guys gave valiant efforts. I thought Blake Shapen, he hurt his MCL. He's going to get an MRI, and so we'll see kind of what becomes of that. I thought, gave everything he had. We've struggled mightily up front. There was a combination of anxiety and, I hate to say, inexperience. I just don't want, as I say my words, I just don't want excuses, and so I don't mean it in that way. But, we just had a hard time getting the ball off on go, And so I'm looking back at that, we're going to have to make some adjustments and what are things we could do better so that we could snap the ball. I think there was some stemming where they would, make a move call, but it wasn't all that. A lot of that was us. And a lot of that was me, again, not getting them prepared for that. And I thought, we had too many free runners. There was a point where we had to take Blake off the field, and, it was late in the game, and, he had his brace on, he was all wrapped up, and he wanted to play, but I just told him, Blake, we can't protect you right now. I know you want to be able to fight through this thing and you want to go, but we can't protect you right now. No one's going to feel right if there's a hit on you that's an unnecessary one. And so I'm way proud of him and his effort. I thought that Dominic Richardson really ran the ball hard. I thought that, there was people meeting him in the backfield, and he would do his best to get yardage. I thought that Devin Lemire played really strong. He dislocated an elbow. We have to see what becomes of that. I thought the guys gave a lot. I think we have to do a better job of getting the details right and getting them in position to make more plays for us. With that, I'll take any questions that you guys have.
Dave, you mentioned some of the self-inflicted wounds and mistakes. Were you surprised with, especially, given the spring that y'all had, the camp that you had? I mean, were you surprised with how this turned out?
Appreciate that. I thought, for example, one thing that has been a hindrance to us throughout camp has been receivers on the ball, off the ball, and especially when we're trying to go tempo. Now, that showed up tonight. Now, that has been a struggle throughout camp to get it to, we've had scrimmages and we have refs at the scrimmages, and they'll give us the feedback of, hey, we're not too many guys in the backfield. And, so throughout this week, it was the best that it's ever been. And so we feel like, man, we're over the hump, only to get under the lights tonight and to see very obviously that we're not. And so I think a lot of things were under that type of example of things that we're fighting and things that I think we're making progress in, but not enough. Yeah.
Dave, you talked about a disappointed locker room. Knowing your emphasis on winning up front, was that maybe one of the more disappointing things that y'all didn't win that up front?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I thought, defensive-wise, I thought in the run game we had some pressure coming from the edge where we'd slant inside, and a lot of their run game was counter run game. So guys are blocking down, guys are pulling, and there's too many times that we have an edge blitzer off from the edge, and then as the line is slanting in, guys taking the easy way out and popping out. And now we got two outside, and now there's a gap inside. I think the very first play actually was that, and we struggled to get that fixed throughout. I think a lot of big eyes, a lot of guys, hey, I'm going to make this play, or, were kind of the factors there. I think pass rush struggled. I think a lot of their throw game is a quick, if he's up, I'm going to throw it down. If he's down, I'm going to throw it up, and the ball's out like that. And so we have to be able to cover him first to be able to get him to hold on to the ball, where the rush then becomes a factor. And so the times that we did do that, and we had an opportunity to rush, we failed to contain him. And it's one of probably the biggest disappointments in all of this, because I look back at Texas State and Albany where we struggled versus scrambling quarterbacks, and it's usually that first thing. And a lot of it is when we're in practice, we're not hitting quarterbacks, and so we want to be able to stay out of them. And then how does that mesh when it's a game and you need to tackle them? And so I thought we addressed it, and apparently we did not, and that's frustrating to see. I think offensive line-wise, I knew that there was going to be some stumbling blocks, and so this is. I think what I told them was, hey, this is what you did. This ain't who you are. We're so much better than this, and so we have to use this to get better. And I think there's a fair amount to get better for.
Dave, I know it's hard to ask this question. At the same time, is this acceptable? And this was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it's not acceptable. I talked to the team about how it's not, and so I think I take responsibility for it. I thought that whether it was the wide eyes or the lack of details and just all those things were things that, I take a lot of pride in, and I was counting on those things being done, or that they were done, and to come and see that they're not is painful, and so we'll get better from it.
I guess on the offensive line, I guess, what are the steps that you need to take, or you want them to take, to kind of fix some of those wrongs? And
No, appreciate that. I think a lot of that comes with settling the heartbeat down, was in feeling comfortable, and I think too much of it was, hey, what's this look? What could be possible here? What could be done out of this look? Is this look a call? Is this look something I have to check on? And so I think getting it to where there's not 4 or 5 options in a head, and a lot of times these are not even options. These are things that are just going off. We would use the word anxiety. I guess, to describe this. And so to get it to where it's like, hey, I'm running off the football, and the first thing that comes in my gap, I'm gonna hook up, I'm gonna run them to the sideline. We've got to get it from point A to point B that way. And I think, possibly simplifying and, focusing on those types of details of, hey, this is where the pressure comes from. This is a look that there's no pressure, and getting confidence in that, I think, is a way important and a way key. I thought there was ghosts that were happening up front that didn't need to be. Okay, thank you guys.